Hello everybody, VIDIUM here once again, and I want to answer Snestastic's tag, Nintendo versus SEGA tag. I actually wasn't tagged on the video, but I actually talked with the Snestastic and I told him that I really wanted to do a response to his video, so here we go. He made a tag video about Nintendo versus SEGA, which company, which system you actually prefer the most. You have 5 questions. So the first question is, who do you prefer, Nintendo or Sega? Now, as I say many times over, I really love the Sega Genesis, and we really have to say that the best console wars of all time was the original console wars between Nintendo and Sega. There's never been a better rivalry between two companies than Nintendo and Sega. Back in the day when the Sega Master was out and the NES was out, I was an NES boy. I really loved the NES. I still love the NES. I'm still trying to get many games for this NES. But when the Genesis came out, it actually blew my mind. And the Super Nintendo, when the Super Nintendo came out, it also blew my mind as well. And I really love both systems. Both systems are awesome in their respective ways, but as I say other times, there are games that actually look better on the Genesis than the Super Nintendo, and there are games that look better on the Super Nintendo than on the Sega Genesis. But for me, I prefer the Sega Genesis more than the Super Nintendo, and it is because of a single reason. When games were ported, this is one of the reasons. When games were ported from the arcade to the Super Nintendo, Nintendo have this tradition of changing things, and they actually keep doing that. They change things on the game, and they make a complete new look of the arcade original. And sometimes they are good, but sometimes you actually prefer to have the game untouched. One of the games is actually Street Fighter 2, which Street Fighter 2 actually have minor changes, and they were actually in stages. They moved things from one side to another, or they actually repeated a thing that was on one side of the stage and it also appears on the other side, and when you look at on the arcade it only appears once, so things like that. But significant changes, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, the arcade game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 for the NES, and Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. They changed the game. They actually included new stages, which is cool to include new stages. But to change some characters, like they did on Turtles in Time, that they changed some characters with some bosses. There are bosses that are missing from the SNES version that actually are in the arcade. That kind of stuff. But the thing is that Sega, when games were made for the Genesis, they actually went out for the quality of the game, and they actually bring the game as close as they could to the arcade, and that is one of the things that I love the most about Sega. What they actually did that, they made the game as close as possible to the arcade. Let me check out. 4 minutes. God, it actually took 4 minutes to say all that. So let's go fast. Question number 2. Why did you prefer Nintendo or Sega? Well, actually, I actually said it. It's because when Genesis games were made, they actually thought more about the gamer. When SNES games were made, they actually tried to bring more the power of the Super Nintendo and graphics, sound, and all this stuff. And sometimes many of the games tend to be a little bit boring. And on the Genesis, they actually didn't care more about if the graphics were bigger or they were brighter, but they actually made the game more fun. But don't get me wrong. I love my Super Nintendo, and I spent hours, countless hours, on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. But my favorite is the Genesis. Question number 3 was, what's your favorite system by Nintendo or Sega? Well, I have to say that every system made by Sega, every major console made by Sega were awesome. Sega Master, Genesis. Some people may say that the Sega CD or the 32X were flops. I actually liked it. Although there are no major consoles, there are add-ons. But the Sega Saturn, which is amazing. I got mine right over there. The Sega Dreamcast, absolutely awesome. All the systems made by Sega were awesome. Nintendo, well, I actually love Nintendo a lot, but the only system that I didn't like was the N64. For some reason, it didn't appeal to me. Although there's one over there, but I only own one game, and that is Shadow of the Empire Star Wars game. The other games are from my wife, because the N64 belongs to her. But my favorite system has to be a Sega system, and it has to be Genesis. That would be the Genesis, the Saturn, and the Dreamcast on that particular order. Let's see. Question number 4. What do you like about the console? Well, the Genesis was the first 16-bit system that I played. And one of the features that I like, which is a real stupid feature, is that you were able to plug earphones into your Genesis 1. And I could actually play the game without anyone bothering me. I put my earphones and start playing the game, and that's it. But it was the shape of the system, the color. I love black. I love black so much. And it was everything about the system: the box, the games, the boxes of the games, the controller, everything that it has to do with Genesis is awesome. And finally, let's see how I'm doing. 7 minutes. Sorry about that, guys, but since I got my new camera, I don't have a screen to actually look at myself. I use this a mirror, so I can actually see the screen on the back of the camera. Sorry about that. The last question is, did you miss the rivalry between games companies, Nintendo versus Sega? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Everything actually went downhill when the PlayStation came out, and that passion between the Nintendo and Sega for the gamers got lost when the PlayStation came along. I don't know if I can explain that to all of you, but the thing is that there was a certain magic, a certain feeling when the 16-bit era was in, and once the 16-bit era went out and the 32-bit system came in, PlayStation, Saturn, that particularly magic that the system had started to get lost. And I don't know, I really don't know how to describe it, but there is a certain magic between the 8-bit and the 16-bit era that I haven't been able to feel ever since they were gone. And that is why I love to get more retro games all the time. But during the course of my show, when I start to do the show again in February, I will be exploring more and more that feeling. I will let you know more about it. So I'm gonna be going because I'm running out of time. 9 minutes. So that is my response to Snestastic Nintendo versus Sega tag. Since I'm running out of time, I'm gonna put the tags. I'm gonna tag 3 people. I'm gonna put it on the side. I'm gonna tag people that I haven't tagged before, because I have a bunch of new subscribers that have really low subscriptions. So I'm gonna tag them. So see you later. This thing's still running? Damn it.
That's the Snestastic.